One. Welcome everybody to the Beyond Us podcast. This is episode 1. This is going to be our topical podcast. We'll be chatting a little bit about everything, just whatever's out there in the news, gaming, hopefully even a little philosophy. My name is Salo. We have Brett there. Say hey, Brett.
Greetings.
We have Daniel,
What's good?
and we just we're going to get into it today.
Yeah,
What's
let's
up, guys?
go.
How you been?
Yeah, we're getting into it. All right, so we're gonna scrap real quick. First, you two are gonna go against each other.
Oh,
That's how
all
we
right.
top this up.
All right,
Yeah,
bet.
yeah.
All right. Yeah, no, that's not how this works. But no, like you said, I mean, this is all about shooting the shit. We're here towards the end of January for anybody that wants to know when we're having this conversation, just so you don't think we're not talking about something that happens tomorrow and we just didn't know yet. As of the time of recording, it is January 28th of 2022. Just for your privy. But yeah, we're just gonna shoot the shit, talk to you guys for a little while, see what happens.
As of right now, just for people who pay attention to the news and history, and it being January in 2022, Russia has not invaded Ukraine, so we have that going for us, guys.
It's probably a good thing, hopefully. like,
I hope so. Yeah.
like, oh man, dude, I had no idea that this was even like going on because I don't watch the news because there's just so many news stations that are just hard to listen to. And
Well, I started just reading like the one source, like New York Times. I read a couple other stuff, make sure it's not unbiased or biased or whatever. But
right,
like, there's only a few places I read because most of the stuff is just like it's like sensationalized for the news,
right.
But it's a real thing going on right now. Like
Yeah.
people are there.
Yeah, it's crazy. So
Not to mention everything's always pitted in sides.
right.
It's never
the
straight.
facts. It's always
Yeah.
it's always got a little bit of opinion in it. And I mean, I don't know. We get used to that, but no, it's a good thing that hasn't happened yet. Hopefully, it doesn't happen at all. We'll see. By the time we have episode 2, things could be different.
Mini Ukraine updates.
We'll keep y'all posted on that one.
I suppose that's the cool thing about a podcast.
Up with it, but it's mostly Putin just trying to his dong just slap it around everywhere. Like it's literally he's done this since he like came out of Soviet Russia, right? He's been just testing the waters over and over and over. And I'm sorry to start it that way, but that's the best way I can put it. From a historical context, my dude is just...
hold on. So hold on. For those of you that are not watching and you are listening, for our non-visual listeners out there, the reason Brett and I are laughing so hard is because not only did Salo straight up say this man's dong is flopping, but he grabbed his elbow and straight up elephant armed with his other arm like it was a damn elephant trunk, like it was the world's biggest dong. Little did you know, Vladimir Putin is stacked in the pants, apparently.
Historical accuracy.
Interestingly enough, never thought about it.
Nope, not once.
Definitely.
Not in my entire
Not at
life.
all.
But now I'll never be able to get the picture of how big his floppy dong is. Oh my god, bro.
This better not make it into the title.
Oh. Episode 1, Putin's floppy dong.
Oh no.
Oh shit.
Well, and with all that being said, glad you guys came to episode 1. That's the end of our careers. Like, we're off to a rough start.
Man.
Wow. That's not how I thought this was gonna go. Oh, jeez.
All right. Well, outside of Putin's phallic objects, how's everybody's day going? Fuck.
Oh man, I mean, I'm big chilling. Last week for our first time listeners and our future regulars, last week was my birthday. So big chilling. Got some pretty cool stuff for my birthday actually. So got a jacket that doesn't fit.
Hey,
Goals, my brother.
Got a jacket that doesn't
Look-
fit
look-
because it's 8 sizes
so-
too small because
Looks so
I-
good on the website.
I am an American 3X and I got a Korean medium. Um,
Good man.
Oh, man.
but no, so I'm just big chilling, doing my thing. How about y'all? What y'all been up to since we did episode 0?
Working. That has pretty much been the existence of my life.
Yeah,
Just
no,
going-
I know.
Yeah,
I'm damn
that's
well
it.
aware.
That's pretty much it.
Watched a little bit of TV.
Yeah. A little bit of TV, work.
Yep. What about you, Salo? What you been up to?
Good, my friend. Just work. It's been a boring day in insurance, and life carries on. So
Yeah, no, I feel it.
just been chilling, doing fake work, looking busy.
Mundane.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Start of the new year, everything does kind of feel mundane.
Yeah, I don't know why January always kind of feels real bland, real basic.
Mm-hmm.
But it's no different than the rest of the year.
I mean, it could be because it's the same thing every year.
That's true.
Everybody comes in with the New Year's resolutions, and
I don't do those.
No.
I don't do New Year's resolutions. You're setting yourself
I
up for
have year
failure.
goals. I have my goals
Yeah.
for the year, but I don't really have like, oh, this year I'm gonna change because all these things are imaginary.
Like,
And
yeah,
even
you're setting
humans
yourself
who are
up for
confident-
failure.
Yeah, the calendar is just a historical thing that we created to keep track of time. It doesn't. If you're gonna set your mind to something, my thinking is you should do it and you should execute a plan and have a plan for it. But
Yeah, like
New Year type stuff.
yeah,
doesn't
like
generally-
saying like just because it became 2022 doesn't mean I'm gonna start eating salads. That's not how that works.
And it's commercialized. You know who makes money off of the New Year? Planet Fitness. Biggest ads of the
They
fucking
make
year.
so much money off of New Year's.
It's just like Black Friday's been commercialized. New Year, all the New Year resolution is an excuse for you to buy a membership. You're gonna keep until half the year until you
Honestly.
can figure out how to fucking cancel it.
Honestly,
By
we
singling
got
out
in the
what-
wrong business. We shouldn't have started a podcast. We should have started a gym.
Now this isn't to say that you shouldn't
No,
create goals.
You
and
should.
better yourself.
You shouldn't do
You
it
should
because
not
of the
ma-
New Year.
Yes, you shouldn't base
You
that
should make
on.
you should make yourself a better person because you want to be a better person, not because it's
Because of the
2022.
Imaginary line that was
Right.
said in this. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
But I mean, maybe we got in the wrong. We should have started a gym.
This could be a good point. Like, have we done anything to start bettering ourselves?
I have.
Me personally, I've been working out a lot more.
I'll show our visual listeners. I bought myself a little under the desk pedal bike kind of thing. So
That's
that
pretty cool. I didn't even know that existed. What is that? So what do you do? Like you just
it's literally just like a home stationary bike. It's just the pedals instead of the actual seat. You can put it under your desk if your desk is high enough, and you can just pedal while you're sitting at your desk. And since I stream, and I stream 6 hours a night, I'm sitting in this chair for long periods of time. So I bought that so that I could get some exercise while I'm sitting here in between rounds, playing boring games, stuff like that. Like I got it. No, here. I'll even so that you guys can know. I'll do it right now. It takes a second to work up, so I'll let you know when I'm ready to pedal. But it's quiet. Like, here, I'm gonna start pedaling.
Because you stream, so
I'm pedaling.
I'd assume-
I am actively pedaling.
You
And
got resistances on there?
yeah, you can tighten it
Oh, nice.
to have heavy resistance. You can loosen it so there's no resistance. It's literally a stationary bike just for the lower half of your body. It's fantastic, and it's got tracking things to talk about how long you've been pedaling, how many rotations you've done. There's a distance thing on it, but I'm pretty sure it's broken. 99% sure that the distance part is not accurate because there's no way I pedaled for 50 minutes and only got 0.6 kilometers. There's no way. There's no earth. I don't think it's possible to pedal a bike that slow. I think I'd fall over.
It's like crawling.
Like I know for a fact I can walk faster than that, and I got a broken ankle. So, but I've been doing that, and I joined a virtual distance challenge to track my distance, and accomplishing certain distances, I will unlock medals that will be mailed to me, real life medals to say, hey, you did this. I did that because it costs money, And if I spend money, I want my money's worth, which means I'm motivated to keep doing it.
Is that through the cycling thing, or is that
No? So I bought the cycle to help me with the challenge. I did them as separate things working together because I spend smart, not dumb.
Well, what about you, Salo?
Well, I
What
mean,
you been doing?
I started running last year, so January has been the trek upwards for me to continue my running because it's so freaking cold and dark outside. You know, like I like natural running. I don't mind treadmill. I know it's the exercise, but I like running outside with the fresh air.
It just feels better.
Yeah, so I left early one of these days, and like I live very close to my mom. I live like a mile. I didn't know, but I knew it was close, so I actually ran like from my house to my mom's house to go have some dinner with them for their dinner.
Well, that's cool.
and
That's incentive for your meal.
Yeah.
And honestly, you get really motivated. Like one thing I realized compared to running in the park, when you're running on the streets in front of cars that are whizzing by you, looking at you, just running like a crazy man in the middle of the dark, like it gives you more inspiration I never knew I had. You know, like it's just, you're just running and they're just like driving and they're living their lives and you're just like this like symbiotic character that just is doing their running dialogue with the music in the background. That's how I feel.
Hold on. Let's run this back. He runs
just like
he goes for runs and turns into Venom. Like,
exactly. Yes.
Hey, you know what? I get it though. I do get the idea of people seeing you run makes you want to run better because you don't want to be the guy that takes a break and then everybody's just like, hey, look at that guy just walk.
Yeah, and even if it's a small social thing, it's still enough to keep me continuing.
No, I totally get it. It's most people don't understand that exercise is 90% mental.
Yeah.
It's a lot, yeah. The mental part's a lot.
Like the mental part is the part that gets you before the physical part ever touches you.
That's why building a routine's important.
Absolutely.
So I've been definitely running. I've been working on that. One thing I did notice, I used to run a lot in the park, and I started recently running out in the streets. I think I'm gonna start running in the streets a lot better. It's
You look both ways, right?
Yeah, no, of course. I like the sidewalks. I know they're very rare in North Carolina, but I found some sidewalks. It's very rare here. It's very nice for like the 1 mile. It's been fun. What about you? What have you been doing, Brett? You doing upper body, lower body? What you doing?
A little bit of everything.
You skipping leg day.
I'm trying to run more. Skipping leg day. It's your little chicken little legs.
Chicken little legs.
I'm telling you right now, stacked. All right, these motherfuckers stacked.
Stack of Oreos.
I wish I could skip leg day. Them motherfuckers hurt.
You ain't kidding.
It's painful.
Just walking around this leg day for me.
Been trying to be a little more consistent. When it comes to working out.
Your diet been going? Because I know you're like, I don't know if you want to say where you are, but you're in a very tempting place that has a lot of delicious food. So
yeah. Korean snacks are delicious.
I'm sorry.
The other day, I remember we were talking about those. You had all those snacks there.
Location don't change the thing. Food is food, and I'm hungry.
Food.
Yeah. This man and I, Brett and I, we, in one of our late night discussions, because he's in Korea, so he and I are on the phone at 5 a.m. Eastern time. He and I came up with a business plan for a bread bowl company that could put Panera out of business. Because we were talking about food, and when one real and one internally fat person talk about food, it gets dangerous. Dangerous.
It got very delicious, is what it got.
It made me hungry.
Is what it got.
It made me hungry.
If this was Shark Tank, I'm sold. 5%, we'll do a royalty. Let's do this now.
I will say, I did not want to get on the topic of food because I made the mistake of not really eating before this.
So you don't want to talk about a garlic mashed potato stuffed bread bowl?
Dude,
with some chicken and bacon bits inside?
Marinated? Ooh. They
Sounds
were like
so good.
Wings too, with a little bit of ranch.
Some shredded cheese.
I'll walk away. I'll go get food. I don't give a fuck. I'll leave.
This is episode 1. No, the fuck you won't.
You can't leave.
So also, I just realized, in case we haven't established it, because this is episode 1, y'all should probably learn. We are adults. we are providing this this podcast for adults. We will say adult words. Don't at us.
Hey, Brett, can you give us an example of an adult word?
Caglanicipherpalades.
Oh.
Thank you. Stay tuned.
I thought his example was going to be Putin dong.
Oh no! Don't bring that back.
Oh, that's staying all episode.
No.
That's staying all episode. This is gonna be in the logo design.
Oh no! It eventually makes itself into a small feature film.
But it is good to hear.
Do you always like think about Putin's dong? Is that like a general?
Is that a normal thought?
No, but out of all like the world leaders, if you think of a manly man, he's a psychopath.
You know what? I will say, if there's any world leader that I'd say, you know what, that's a man's man, it probably is Putin.
Yeah, and
if we're being honest,
him like that, it could be.
But
like,
I don't know how much that is. That it's Putin, or if that's the fact that I don't know a lot of world leaders. There's like 286 countries on this planet, and I know U.S. President, Putin, and I know that Canada's got a prime minister.
I know.
And England's got a queen, and that's about all I got for you.
I know at least 2 more world leaders. If not, I don't want to say it, but like 10 more. And I'll tell you this: they're all fucking old people who are boring as fuck. So yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Putin's a manly man. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm glad we've all in the new year embraced trying to maintain a healthier lifestyle, or at least get on the right track. And I'm glad none of us are doing it through New Year's resolutions, because those are set for failure. We are just doing it to better our lives.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, trying. That's all you can do, really.
That's good.
Just try. Yeah.
And one day you'll better your life by growing some facial hair.
Oof, he went there. It is episode 1. We had to just get it out the way, Brett. I'm not going to say anything, but for the people who can't see us, you know what I'm talking about.
We got one man with...
No, they don't.
They don't, actually. For the people that can't see us, they got no idea. So Salo, he's got a quite respectable, groomed beard. Mustache. Solid. Me, myself, Daniel, I got myself a Viking beard. Down to my solar plexus.
Mine's like a little business baby beard. It's very embarrassing compared to his Viking beard. But I'll manage. One day I will have a Viking beard.
Brett has 16-year-old stubble.
Brett shaves. That's what Brett does.
I don't. Shaves. Not anymore.
Is that part of your job, Brett?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
They make you pay? Like,
yes. Yeah. That is a requirement. Yeah.
It's the main thing I'm happy about not being in the military anymore, is I'll never shave again. Ever.
As a civilian, I enjoy my luxury of not having to shave for work.
Sure. It's so nice. It's so nice.
Just wait till that stream goal hits and you end up shaving that thing.
I'll tell you right now, my stream goal is for my hair, not for my facial hair. There's a difference. One of them is more than welcome to go. I already am starting to have a receding hairline. But this beard, this is luxurious. This ain't going nowhere. Maybe trimmed. Gone? Couldn't pay me enough. Couldn't pay me enough.
I feel like that's incorrect.
It's not. I'm too fat. If I shave this off, you get to see all 6 chins? No.
Being fat and being rich. You like you ain't got to show your face for a while. If you're rich, you're rich. Exactly.
I guess I could use the money to cover the mirrors in the house. You know what?
He's saying you don't even need mirrors to be rich. Oof.
It's true.
Oof.
Take the money, man.
You're probably right. I probably take the money. I probably take. It depends on how much money though. Like
50,000.
50,000? No.
You wouldn't take $50,000 to shave your beard, which will grow back.
Do you understand how long it took to grow this?
To reinvest into your channel, to your streaming.
Do you understand that it's way faster than you getting $50,000?
I need you to understand. I need you to understand how many viewers I lose when they see my real face.
You're gonna win a couple more when you come back and
It's called
Investment.
bring out the
I don't
pit
know,
mask
bro,
again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. I bring back the mask. You're right. Never mind. Yeah. All right. 50K. 50K. All right. You're right. I got a mask right there. I got like 8 mask choice. You're totally right. Between 2 Plague Doctor masks, a unicorn, and a Batman, we're good.
You're done. It's over.
Good.
You're good.
You're right.
One for every day of the week.
Maybe. I had to think about it. You're probably right. But as we said, we are at the end of January. January has been eventful. I will say that.
Yeah.
Movies, video games, some big releases have happened. Just today, the brand new Pokemon game, Pokemon Legends Arceus.
It looks kind of clean. I don't know much about it, but it looks kind of clean.
So I will tell you this. I've looked a little bit into it, and it's almost enough for me to go buy a Switch. Because...
Is it Switch exclusive?
It's yeah. So
Nintendo.
yeah. Nintendo ain't sharing the rights to Pokemon ever.
Never, right?
But it's open world.
Right.
It's multiplayer. Yeah. It's
open world multiplayer.
Yeah, like
okay.
You and I can join each other's games and go.
Really?
As far as I've heard. I haven't played it, so I don't know how true that is, but this is what I've heard. This is what I've been told. But what I do know, open world fact. I've been told multiplayer. Open world is fact. I've seen enough gameplay already.
Yeah.
If you get too close to a wild Pokemon, they will attack you. Not your Pokemon, you. They will fuck your day up. You.
Can I
no.
throw hands?
No.
Why can't I throw hands?
Because you are a small child, and that is a big-ass Pokemon.
Not necessarily.
You're like 13 when you go on your journey, bro.
You're 10. You're 10.
Yeah,
Ash has been 10 for 30 years.
Some Pokemon are bitches.
Those ones don't attack you. It's the big ones with claws and pincers and big-ass mouths that want to eat your little bitch ass.
Yeah,
so it's very much a Beedrill situation.
Yeah. It's a Beedrill and a Scyther and a Caesar and a Rhydon and a Jigglypuff. It's never good. It's never good. It's not a Bellsprout.
Why does the list have to end with Jigglypuff?
That bitch will put you to sleep and then right on your goddamn face with Sharpie. Because you fell asleep with your shoes on and you broke party rules.
You don't need to see Jigglypuff in the wild for that to happen.
That's true. But it's not a Bellsprout or a Diglett. You're not getting attacked by Magikarps.
I don't know, man. A Diglett might fuck you up.
Diglett might fuck your day up. Trip the fuck out you. But anyway, open world.
And then like just keep attacking you in the chin. Like
Pokemon attack you. The Pokeballs, they work the way Pokeballs worked in the show. You throw them, you miss, you gotta go get them. They hit and they break out. Pokeball comes back to you. You can reuse it as far as I know. It's actually like some legitness to it. There's still battles if you want to battle. Things will get bodied real fast if you get in a dumb situation.
I'm curious how I haven't heard more about this then.
This game looks really, really good. Good enough that I am genuinely debating on breaking out the credit card and buying a Switch.
I mean, use the one that gives you the most miles, I say. But anyways, it just sounds really good. It sounds like they're revamping. They're
I'm excited for a true open world Pokemon game.
Like, there's no gyms. That's pretty cool.
I think there are gyms. I just don't think that, like...
Fights.
I don't think there's location locks.
Oh.
Like, I think you can go to any gym you want whenever you want. But I think there is still an overarching story. I know there's like, I can't remember what the word was. Apex, I think was the word. There's Apex Pokemon that are just bigger versions of normal Pokemon. So like you can't just go catch the same Pokemon and it's going to be the same thing like in the old Pokemon games. You go catch 2 Geodude, you're looking at the same thing. That Geodude and that Geodude might be very, very different.
Pretty cool.
But it looks really, really interesting. Other games that came out this month, Rainbow Six Extraction. Now I'll tell you this, Brett and I have dabbled and been bullied on easy.
Nuts in that game.
We've been bullied on easy.
Let's not talk about that.
On easy, the easiest difficulty.
It is a very challenging game.
Is mad hard. I don't think you could play this game with randos.
You know?
I don't think so.
You definitely need communication.
You need teammates, like a squad. I don't think this is a game you can play with randos. I really don't.
How many teammates do you need?
It's a 3-man squad. But this is not the kind of game that I will ever play without a full squad.
You're not required to play with 3 people, are you?
I don't think so, but I'll tell you now, this is not the type of game I'm not...
It's not smart.
I'm not playing this game without a full squad. I will tell you this is not a joke. Our first game on the easiest difficulty, our third man on our team died in the first 4 minutes. Not a joke. That's a fact.
4 minutes.
Yes. That's not an exaggeration. That might be generous. We didn't get out of the starting room. That's a fact.
It's not wrong.
Not the starting room, bro.
There was a bit of a learning curve, like
yes,
learning what each creature does.
Each creature can
like
do.
That.
So for those of you not privy, it's Rainbow Six. It plays very similar to Siege, but it's against NPCs. An alien parasite has taken over the planet.
What?
Yeah.
I thought this was like a shoot 'em up series.
It is a shoot 'em up.
It is. Yeah.
You shooting the aliens.
You shooting. Yeah.
You better be shooting or you dead. Let's make that perfectly clear. You best be shooting or you lose.
Or you dead.
But it's pretty cool. We probably already put about 8-9 hours into it.
Think so?
We put almost 6 hours in the first night.
I guess, yeah. We did play a lot the first night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We probably put 8 hours in. What'd you say?
What's the game called?
Rainbow Six Extraction. It's pretty cool though. It's pretty cool.
Fun game.
What else has come out? This month? I know in the world of film, Scream. The 5th Scream came out. We won't hit nobody with any spoilers because it's only been out for 2 weeks. Not to mention, I don't think any of us have seen it yet. That being said, one of the homies, he saw it, and he is the biggest Scream fan I know. And his exact words were, "Oh my God, it's fucking awful." Those were his exact words. He's like, "You should watch it once it's free, but don't go to the theater."
And he is one of the people that will watch a movie purely just for like the enjoyable factor of it, not critiquing and over analyzing.
Yeah, he's one of those people that like if it's just fun, he had a good time. And he was like, it's worth the watch once it's free, but do not pay to go see this movie. Those are his words, not mine. But he is a fan of this franchise.
Well, what do you guys think about all these reboots that they're trying to do? Because it's like
it feels like everything is something we've already seen.
Like, have you guys seen the Matrix Resurrected or
Revived? We did watch that.
Yeah.
So, personally, I actually kind of enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it, but I had a lot of problems with it.
That's what I was going to bring up. I have mixed feelings about it because this is like, I think I love just the nostalgia of it, right? You miss it after being away for so long. It doesn't necessarily justify.
It was fun.
They did in there. It was a little too meta.
That's what I said. It was too meta.
So I thought
he liked it.
Perfect.
He liked the meta.
I thought it was great. I thought it fit. Like only the Matrix could make something this meta, and it works. I think they played into that, and I thought that aspect was fantastic because you see meta all the time, and it's just like it's like cringeworthy. Like,
So
like I don't.
Just
for me,
a little too edgy.
yeah. So for me, meta. I already don't like meta a lot, but like Brett said, the Matrix is one of those worlds where you can get away with meta. But I think they push the envelope too much with their meta work.
And I actually love meta stuff. I am very meta myself, but
It's
I
just a
think
little
it's
bit much.
just a little. Like I appreciate it because I love a good meta joke. We're in season one, episode one, but it's just like it's like the proverbial looking into the fucking camera and like saying, haha, isn't it like we're almost in a matrix right now?
Right.
And that's
It's
really,
it almost so like
I don't think it was that like if it was
It was in
as
your face.
cheesy as that line,
it was in your
I would have had problems with it. But I thought
Yeah.
every single aspect, which we're not going to get into for spoiler purposes, because it is relatively still a new movie. It is.
it's been out for over a month.
And they're just gonna get meta in this anyways if they've seen the Matrix. So
I will say it's been out for
Spoiler
over a
warning.
month, and it's been on HBO Max the entire time. If people haven't seen it by now, they're probably not going to.
or they didn't know it existed, and I'm sorry, but you should have seen it earlier.
Like if we're being totally honest, like it's been out for long enough that the people that want to see it have seen it.
So I understand like reasons to not like it, you know, because of the meta. I get it. I think a lot of the reviews have been critiquing the wrong aspects of the movie.
That's fair. That's fair.
Like they're like all the complaints are the fact that it's a reused property and it's just like dead.
Well, so
I mean it is a used property. Like if you're not critiquing the film,
so I
you're
think
not critiquing the
You're critiquing the idea of these, like
Right.
like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
You're critiquing the idea of what they're doing, reviving these movies. I get what you're saying. They're not really critiquing the movie. They're just saying, "Hey, we keep seeing big corporations just regurgitate the same stuff because it's popular."
well, and I think that's the other reason it really kind of got hurt by that is it came out at the wrong time when a bunch of other nostalgia movies were coming out. It came out
it really did.
right at the same time as Spider-Man, which was a complete nostalgia fest.
They just have a lot of stuff in the media right now where it's like it's basically our like. Have you? I don't know if you guys seen it, but there's even a Chucky TV show.
I just watched it a couple weeks ago.
It's decent.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's
I will
actually
say
decent.
it was really good.
Yeah.
And there was some parts of it that were really bad, but Chucky is the type of universe that can get away with that.
Yeah.
Chucky's
I
the
just like
type of
that they were
universe
able to
that can
draw
do
such
dumb,
an authority.
cheesy, like
Hmm.
almost like cringy things, and
I mean,
it
they
makes
built
sense.
several movies off of the idea.
Right, and that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So like they can kind of get away with it more than your other cult classic franchises.
Right.
But I mean, let's be honest, remakes haven't been doing well for the most part for a while now. I mean, the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street was abysmal, and anybody that tries to say otherwise, you are wrong. Sorry. I am a huge Nightmare on Elm Street fan. The remake of Nightmare on Elm Street was abysmal.
Abysmal.
the
Horrid.
It is rough.
The 2009 Friday the 13th wasn't great. The best part about it was Jared Padalecki. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. It wasn't the worst
I forgot
Jason
he was
movie.
in it.
It wasn't the worst Jason movie. That would definitely be Jason Takes Manhattan or Jason X.
There's such a weird special place in my heart for Jason X.
Yeah, but it's not. But it's
It's not because it was a good movie.
No.
No. It's because he gets a fucking metal mask and does some crazy shit.
I will say
in
that
space.
that cryo kill was nuts in that movie. That cryo kill was dirty. But I think the problem is that people are growing tired of nostalgia. Nostalgia is one of those things where it's like it hits you once and you're like, ooh, I remember this. And then once it keeps hitting you, you're like, all right, you're just making me feel fucking old now. Stop. Like,
Do you think it could also be a little bit of also the changing times we're living in and how we can't really see the reflection of the past in the current moment and we can't like make that connection as clearly anymore because we're living in a completely different world. Like even going out to the grocery store is completely different. There's protocols depending on where you go about face masks and vaccines, and like it's a complete. You can't even relate. What is nostalgia if you can't relate to it in a deeper level in reality?
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, some people could look at it as this is the perfect time for nostalgia
because we need it.
Yeah,
sure,
it helps people, look at a better time because I mean, in reality, it was kind of a better time.
Yeah,
but I mean, in the sense of almost like resenting it, where it's like we're not going to go back like that anytime soon. So they kind of there's a disassociation there that makes them dislike it.
Well,
I'm sure.
I think there's also I think this is important too. There's a very big difference between what the Matrix and even the new Spider-Man movie do, where they play on your nostalgia by just bringing back things of the past, versus we're about 5 weeks away from the new Batman movie. It's nostalgia because it's Batman, but it is new. It's a new actor with a new story and new characters. Like, it's different.
So I get that. I almost think that's worse.
It's like a remake. No, it's
like just say with Batman specifically, another one.
Yeah,
we're making another one. I'm not saying it's going to be bad. I'm probably going to enjoy it. I'm a Batman fan. I'm wearing a hat with the damn Batman logo on it. But like, another one? Really?
Well, I mean,
we just keep churning the shit out. What?
How many different live action Batmans have there been?
Yeah, live action. I'm not looking at obviously. There's Batman Beyond is my favorite animated Batman.
7 or 8 different live action Batmans. I mean, let's talk it out. Robert Pattinson is about to be Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We had Batfleck.
Did have Batfleck, which I did not hate.
Didn't hate Batfleck. Hated him as Daredevil. Didn't hate Batfleck. We had Christian Bale.
Okay.
Yes.
We had George Clooney.
Mm-hmm.
We had Val Kilmer. We had Michael Keaton.
Yes, Michael Keaton.
We had Adam West.
I don't know my Batmans. Holy crap.
Mm-hmm.
That is 7 live action Batmans right there. And we technically we had
we had a Batman in the TV series, right?
The Arrowverse. Yep. It was the guy that did the voice. I can't think of his name at the moment. Nolan North? Is that his name? No, that's the guy that did Jokers.
No.
Oh God, what was his name?
It's on the tip of my tongue.
I have no idea.
It'll come to us later, probably. But you look it up. Yeah. But him, that makes 8 because he did play a live action Batman.
That's way more than I feel comfortable with.
So we've had, if you count a one-off because of a TV show, which in my opinion still counts.
Kevin Conroy.
Thank you so much. That is 8 different live action actors that have played Batman since the 60s.
Mm-hmm. That's insane, man. Since the 60s.
If you take away Adam West, that's 7 that have done it since the 90s. We have had a lot of live action Batmans. But Batman is also that kind of character that is iconic and people will always want to go see.
Like a Superman hero.
For the record, we've had 3 different Spider-Men in 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
3. We had 2 different Spider-Men in 2 years. Like, Andrew Garfield just kind of got kicked out and they brought Tom Holland in.
Yeah, they just moved on from that
like there was no pause. Fast. There was no pause.
And now they're bringing it back.
Yeah.
People love him.
They really wanted to do a 3rd movie because he just did a really good job, but they just didn't. They just got acquired and they did the whole thing,
The reason they kicked Andrew Garfield was because he wanted Spider-Man to be
I can't remember.
I know.
I know they wanted to. I just don't remember the specific reason that stopped them.
I don't know either. I don't remember what, but I honestly think it's because they got into this new contract and they wanted a fresh hero, a fresh face. a younger lad, and that he does that really well.
He's a good Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I enjoy him.
yeah, I like him a lot. He's cool.
I mean, I've liked all three of them for different reasons.
Yeah.
I like me some emo Spider-Man some days. Some days you just feeling like an emo Spider-Man type of day.
I didn't like emo Spider-Man.
I don't know if I was the biggest on Andrew Garfield.
So I think
in his Spider-Man,
I liked Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. I didn't like his Peter Parker.
Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah,
that's very fair.
He was way too confident and almost jockish. Like he was already in good shape. He was a skater. Like he had coordination. Like he was already kind of well off before he became Spider-Man. Like he just didn't fit the mold of Peter Parker. But he was really good as Spider-Man. He had the quips and the almost like the snarkiness. He was a good Spider-Man. He was.
You have to have a voice for Spidey.
But he was also, if we're being honest, he was kind of dumb for a genius.
Weren't they all? Aren't they all?
Like he was kind of dumb for a genius.
I mean,
that's what my
for the
mom
record,
said.
sometimes Spider-Man is.
Yeah. I don't know. There was a lot of characters that died in those two movies that could have
naive.
lived. Yeah, naive. And dumb are different.
Yeah,
he was kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Like he just made dumb choices sometimes. But, like, iconic characters are always going to have those rebirths. They're always going to, especially comic characters. Like, I don't think we can look at comics the same way we can look at The Matrix. Because comics are their own entity at this point. They just are.
Yeah.
I mean, they're beyond what a normal threshold of understanding is. Like, they're just...
It's not a script that they're going to redo and redo.
So would you guys just
literary thing?
Just personal preference for you guys. Would you have preferred them remake The Matrix? Not bring back a bunch of the old cast. Would you have preferred them to just remake The Matrix, even maybe give you a different story?
I would have preferred a new story in the same universe. I would have preferred a sequel with characters that aren't 25 years older than they were when they were good at it.
And still look about the same.
Like, my problem isn't that it's a sequel. My problem is it is characters that we cared about 20 years ago being played by the same people. So the problem is Keanu Reeves is John Wick now. And you and I literally joked as we watched this movie together, oh God, John Wick is now in The Matrix. Because that's what it was.
Okay. I was waiting for him to do something like...
stab somebody with a pencil.
I was waiting for it to be like he was actually John Wick.
Right,
and
because it was so mad.
Takes off his mask,
but that's the problem that you've got when you have iconic characters played by iconic actors that have created new iconic characters. You can't separate your thoughts on them anymore. Like,
you feel that way in general, though? Because I'm starting to feel that way in general.
I do feel that way in general. So there are certain people that will forever be synonymous with certain characters. And once you do that, it's difficult to do anything else with them.
I was gonna say let's look at kind of like a parallel. So there's been a lot of talk again for Idris Elba to play James Bond.
I'm fine with that. So
what I'm asking about is we've had the same guy play James Bond in so many movies. They even relatively recently, I don't remember when it came out with another one with him in it.
Yeah, Daniel Craig's been James Bond for a while.
Do you think that's a problem?
Do I think it's a problem that Daniel Craig has been James Bond for a while, or that they're changing it now?
Both in comparison.
I think Daniel Craig was James Bond for too long. I like Daniel Craig as James Bond. Don't get that twisted. But I don't like the same character being played by the same person for 4 movies. 3 is a cap. 3 is a cap for me. You get a trilogy, move on.
Fair.
Christian Bale played Batman for 3 movies. He played his arc. He finished it. He's done. Let's make a new Batman. Perfect. It's different in the MCU because the MCU, again, its own entity where you have characters appear in other movies and other, single fold things and blah, 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 blah. But look at all of the movies that they've done so far. Captain America trilogy. Thor trilogy. Iron Man trilogy. Spider-Man trilogy. They do trilogies, they move on. That's why Thor isn't getting his own movie now. Cap and Iron Man are gone. Spoiler alert for a 4-year-old movie.
It's 4 years old now. Goddamn.
Endgame came out in 18, didn't it?
I don't remember.
I think Endgame came out in 18.
Man. So do you think we're starting to get tired of the same actors because they don't know when to call it quits? And they just keep redoing movies, like doing the same character. So now, like, I've imbued freaking Keanu Reeves with either The Matrix or John Wick.
So for me, I get tired of the same character being played by the same person because nothing feels different. If I were to pick a random scene from one of the Iron Man movies, I could make it very difficult for you to tell me which Iron Man movie it was.
Yeah, I see that.
If I pick aside from major character appearance changes, like Thor cutting his hair or Iron Man switching to the triangle instead of the circle, there are scenes that you could literally switch out between the movies and you wouldn't know the difference. Like, the problem is you get an actor that plays a character, and then they just do 3 movies of the same thing with very mild changes, and it gets stale fast. That's the problem.
It happens a lot, especially now.
The reason the Dark Knight trilogy was so successful is because they all felt so different. Because they were.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, they were major jumps throughout Batman's life.
Right. The other problem with the MCU, and I think that's the other thing, the MCU is ruining it for other things because you have the same actor play a character for 14 years.
Years, man. That's a whole decade.
Like Robert Downey Jr. was Iron Man in 2008.
He became a little diva. He wants to get paid top dollar now.
He should. He's a great actor, but he'll forever be Iron Man now.
Yeah, I can't see him in any other role now. He ruined it for himself. I don't care if he's in a drama about a man flying an aeroplane. I don't care.
Now,
did you guys hear the rumors about and I mean they've been rumors for a while, but I guess it's people really wanting Tom Cruise to play Iron
Man variant from a different multiverse. Yeah. Well, that's because he was supposed to be Iron Man before RDJ got it. Mm-hmm. He was the original casting. You know what I want to see more than that in the Multiverse of Madness? I want to see Chris Evans pop through a portal and Doctor Strange be like, "Oh my God, Captain Rogers." And then he just goes, "Who's Captain Rogers?" And the flames go on and it's Human Torch. That's what I want. That's what I want. I want Human Torch Chris Evans to come back and fuck with everybody. That's what I want.
You know that's too good for this world.
Well, I also want to know who the next Human Torch is going to be. That way I can figure out who's going to be the next big character in Marvel. Because they're going to do another Fantastic Four, and apparently being the Human Torch is a good luck charm to get a much better role in Marvel later on.
Really?
Well, yeah. I mean, Chris Evans went from being the Human Torch to Captain America. Yep. Michael B. Jordan went from being the Human Torch to Killmonger. Apparently, if you get to be the Human Torch, you're a bitch for a couple movies, but then you get to be dope.
That's pretty late. You're right.
It's the blessing of the Human Torch.
So waiting for the
You've been touched by the
mutants to be fully merged into the MCU.
I have to assume it happens in Multiverse of Madness.
But yeah, I imagine it at least triggers it.
I have to assume it.
Yeah.
Here's what I want. You know what? Hey Marvel, here's your perfect movie moment to get people talking. All you do, because I'm sure you don't have people cast yet. All you do is have a after credit scene for Multiverse of Madness where whatever portal things go on that break the multiverse, you have one little of that, and out pops just somebody, you don't know who because you don't have an actor cast, and you just see their arm down, like their arm, some jeans, and maybe a wife beater, and then all of a sudden you just see their hand clench up and out come the claws. And that's it. That's all you do as a post-credit scene. And everyone on the planet will talk about it for months. You will get more talk about that scene than the rest of the movie. I promise you. I promise. People would lose their collective shit.
That would be fire. That would be just all the
popular
words they
It'd be
use.
insane.
They would also be demanding.
Yes.
Would be demanding that Hugh Jackman comes back and plays him.
I don't think they would. I think they know Hugh Jackman's done. I think they're okay with it because of Logan. I know there are still people, but I think there are more people than not.
No, I'm fairly confident most people want Hugh Jackman back.
I know Hugh Jackman has been open to doing it for one more time.
I did hear something about that.
I know he's been open to it. I'd be cool with him being in Multiverse of Madness for 20 minutes.
If he's not going to be a Wolverine, I can't see him in any other role.
So the problem is I can see Hugh Jackman in other roles because I've seen him in so much.
Really?
But he will always be synonymous with Wolverine.
Always.
But my thing is trying to find another person to then embody that. And it's like, can you look at that person and be like, yeah, that's Wolverine? Or do you look at that person and be like, you look fake. Like, you just don't look... You look like a poor imitation.
I mean, that's the problem when you have a person play a character for 20 years.
So long, yeah.
I mean, the first X-Men movie came out in 2000.
Stop it.
it's like cut it the fuck out.
Or maybe 2001.
Okay, that's a lot better. I feel 1 year younger, my friend.
Logan came out, what, in 2019?
Dang, stop it. It doesn't seem like it's 2009 when that came out.
Like,
look, you're going to tell me that Iron Man came out in 2008.
It did. Avengers, for the record, Avengers came out in 2012. Avengers is 10 years old.
10 years?
You know the scene that they put in every Marvel movie now? With the 6 Avengers spinning in a circle? The thing that's in every Marvel product ever now? Yeah, that was 10 years ago. Ow. I don't know, guys. I mean, I think it's definitely interesting. I am excited to see what they do with the new Batman movie. That's where this all started.
Yeah. This did spawn from Batman.
Yeah, we got into the MCU. But I am excited to see what they do with it. But I am worried about it. But I don't know. I mean, I think it's definitely going to be interesting. I'm upset that it got pushed back to March. And so did
I've expected a shit ton of pushbacks.
You did? You will?
Yeah. Well, I mean, COVID restrictions, and honestly, that's the bulk of it.
Yeah.
COVID's been kind of pushing everything back, so.
It definitely has. But yeah, I mean, I think that this is going to be a really interesting year in the world of cinema. I think it's going to be an interesting year in the world of video games. I think we have a lot to look forward to. And as we do these episodes throughout the year, I think we're going to have a lot of interesting things to talk about throughout the year because of it. Some games that I'm definitely looking forward to, some movies that I'm definitely looking forward to. I think we have a lot that's going to be very interesting in the world of media. Very, very interesting.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean it'll be fun. I think something else we should talk about. We've talked about how it's the month of January. briefly. I think we quickly go through and pay homage to all of the celebrities that we lost this month. We lost some big names. Can do this at the end of each month and just quickly say our goodbyes to some of people's most beloved celebrities throughout the times. Got a little list here of the people that we lost and what they're most known for. If there's anybody we want to talk about a little bit more, we can. I'm sure there's a few that we'll have something to say about. Very recently, on my birthday, 2 of these people passed away, actually. Louis Anderson, very famous comedian. People loved Louis Anderson. And Meatloaf, a singer and songwriter that apparently some of my friends have never heard of, but he was very popular in the 70s and 80s. Musician. Couple other people that we lost. We lost Andre Leon Talley, a fashion legend, apparently. I had never heard of him, but fashion legend. Apparently was Vogue's creative director for like 15 years.
My man, he knew some fashion or design.
This one was sad. Jordan Cashmere. She was the star of the original 16 and Pregnant. I actually knew her because she's from Maryland. She went to one of my rival schools and graduated the same year as me. She passed away. Huh?
How old was she?
She was 26.
Wow, so young.
I don't know what it was. My first instinct would be COVID, but I don't know. I haven't seen anything that said anything about it, but she passed away earlier this month. Clint Arliss, apparently a contestant on The Bachelorette a couple years ago. 32 years old, also very young. This one I think is the one that hit the hardest. Bob Saget. Definitely an actor and comedian, but definitely most known for his role in Full House.
Absolutely.
I mean, I grew up on Full House. Really sad to see him go. I feel like he was like the 90s America's dad.
Yeah,
I really
do. 90s, yeah.
Like,
yeah, I feel.
Danny Tanner was just kind of like America's dad. So really sad to see him go. Probably going to pronounce this wrong, but we'll try. Sidney Poitier apparently was the first African-American man to win an Oscar for Best Actor.
Man.
So definitely a legend in the black community. Peter Bogdanovich, a filmmaker. Kim Mi-soo, an actress who was just getting to break through the glass ceiling in the world of acting. She passed away. Joan Copeland, a Broadway star. Jay Weaver, the bassist for Big Daddy Weave. I don't know if you guys know that band, but I've actually heard of it.
No.
It's a very interesting name, but very talented bassist. Max Julian, an actor from most known in the 70s. And finally, Dan Reeves, former NFL running back. Played his entire career with the Dallas Cowboys. He actually won a Super Bowl with them in his second to last year. And then became a coach and won a Super Bowl as a coach as well. He was a 2-time champion, once as a coach and once as a player. He passed away earlier this year from long-standing health complications. So just the people that we lost in January. Some people that some of you may know. I think everybody listening probably connects with the Bob Saget one. That's probably the one that hits the hardest.
Yeah.
R.I.P. to all my people.
And just as an honorable mention, because it would have been her birthday, but she passed away last month, Betty White.
Betty White.
That one hurts, man. That one hurts.
That's still fresh.
That one's still fresh. It feels like it was yesterday. It hurts, man. So we got to mention her. She's a legend.
She pervades generations.
Culture. I mean, less than 2 weeks ago, she would have turned 100.
100.
And we're gonna give her on.
We're gonna give it to her.
We give her the 100.
Yep.
By the way.
Yep.
She's 100. She reached it.
Yep. Beyond Us says she made it beyond 100. Fuck it.
You heard it here first.
But yeah, so I thought that would be something nice we could do for those that have passed on. They might have meant something to somebody that's listening. I know Bob Saget meant something to goddamn near everybody. Like, he was such a great dude. So, just thought we could do that real quick.
So, speaking of famous people passing away, there's something I learned about recently that, as far as I was aware, was a complete mystery. Still,
What's up?
So how familiar are you? I'm gonna refer to you, Daniel, just because Salo actually knows a little bit about this.
Okay.
How familiar are you with what happened to Amelia Earhart?
She was flying across, I can't remember if it was the Pacific or the Atlantic, and she they say she crashed, but she kind of just disappeared.
Yeah, like the prevailing thing was like she went into the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, basically
right?
a Bermuda Triangle
then
situation. Yeah,
vanished,
and then just
completely vanished.
And everybody just assumed she crashed
somewhere, right?
But we never found a plane. We never found a body.
Open to like the supernatural theories of like, hey, how come people keep going into this triangle and disappearing?
That is, I will be real. That is a question a lot of people should be asking.
It's a big question. Big question. So,
what you got?
I don't know how this hasn't been given a bigger scope. I never heard about it. Everyone I've talked to, for the most part, hasn't heard about it. In I believe 1940, somebody was on an island. This island is called, and I'm probably gonna fuck this up. Nikumaro Island. This island is approximately 400 miles away from the emergency landing spot Amelia Earhart was supposed to go to.
Okay.
And so back in 1940, somebody was on this island. I don't have the specifics on exactly what they were doing there. I believe they were researching something, and they found bones.
Ooh.
And remnants of a campfire. And so when they saw this, they gathered all these bones up and they took them back to the mainland, and they took them to British officials, and they looked at them, and a theory started emerging at this time. Is this Amelia Earhart? Right? Like it was way too close from where she was supposed to be. They kind of thought maybe this was her. So they look into it, and they didn't have a lot to go on besides measurements, and they concluded that it wasn't her. So they disposed of the bones, and just kind of moved on. Well, then eventually an anthropologist back in 2018 was looking at these bones and concluded that they made a mistake. These bones, they were looking at the pictures of the bones because they got rid of the actual bones. So they're only looking at pictures, and they concluded that those bones could very well be Amelia Earhart's. So they've gone back, they've looked on this island, and they found this freckle cream. Amelia Earhart had freckles, and she was very self-conscious about them and used that very particular brand of freckle cream.
True.
So adding it together, they're like, this has got to be her. But what happened? So there's a key detail in when this guy found the bones. They were everywhere, scattered, like just all over the place. And it didn't make sense. I mean, when you find like skeletons that have died, yeah, they might be picked apart a bit by scavengers, but for the most part, they're not just disheveled all over the place. So they were trying to figure out like what happened to her. Did she just die of starvation? So they stayed on the island a little longer to like do more research and figure out And overnight, they heard a bunch of rustling and they felt like the ground shaking. So they go out of their tents and they come out and they see these crabs, huge crabs, just unearthing from the ground. Hundreds to thousands of these crabs. Now, these crabs are called coconut crabs. And if for anyone that's heard of coconut crabs, they're fucking huge. Like they have pincers that have like the same force of a lion's bite. Like they're ridiculous. And a little unknown fact about, coconut crabs is that they have a very keen sense of smell. Another thing is that they'll eat anything. They mainly eat coconuts, obviously, given by their name. They can break it open real easily, but they'll eat anything. They'll eat each other. They're really heavily scavengers. But the sense of smell, they're like a shark. They sense out blood. And so the prevailing theory as to what happened to her is she crashed, presumably, whether she washed up or swam onto shore. She was trying to survive. She built a campfire. She's scavenging, she's surviving, doing what anyone would do. And it's presumed that she might have been injured from the crash, but and overnight, these coconut crabs, hundreds to thousands of coconut crabs on this island, only thing that really inhabits this island, unearthed and ripped her to shreds.
I'm sure while she was sleeping.
Maybe, possibly not. But that's kind of the prevailing theory as to what happened to her.
That's crazy.
Ridiculous.
This is big news.
Yeah, I haven't heard any of this.
Yeah, I don't know how this hasn't gotten more attention. I mean, it might be a thing of maybe it did at some point and people kind of brushed it off because everything around her disappearance, it all became very like conspiracy theory-esque. So like maybe whenever anyone does hear something like this, like, oh, news on Amelia Earhart, most articles are clickbait.
Right. It could be like another conspiracy theory. Here we go.
Well,
yeah, and just ignore it.
The other thing on top of that could be, and I'm not saying it is, obviously, but could be that we just didn't hear about it because it doesn't apply to us.
That's also possibly true.
It could be something that has been getting talked about to the younger generation in school and stuff like that. Because I don't talk to anybody that's been in high school recently. You know what I mean? It could be something that is being talked about in school as a prevailing theory, and we just wouldn't know that because we're getting old.
Very possible, yeah. But I thought it was crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
We heard about Amelia Earhart growing up.
Yeah, a lot.
Life, just almost every history book mentioned her at some point.
Yeah.
But wanted to share that with you. That's most likely what happened.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Freaking crabs ripped her entire body apart and ate her up and left nothing but tattered bones.
It's terrifying, if we're being honest.
It's a horrible, it is a terrifyingly horrible way to die.
Yeah.
If that is what happened to her.
That sounds awful.
She made it to an island. She even started a fire. Like, what the heck, man? Crazy.
Honestly, for her sake, if that is what happened,
hope it was quick.
I hope. Well, I was gonna say I hope she died before.
Yeah,
I definitely hope she
was passed away from injuries.
Like I hope whatever her injury was severe enough that she just gone. Like she made it to shore, she made a fire, used all of her energy to do that, laid down, went to sleep, and was gone. Like honestly, I hope for her sake that's what it was.
Yeah. It's like some horror movie shit.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like the premise of a horror movie.
You crash, but all right, you're fine. You're on an island. You'll be all right.
And then there are giant man-eating crabs on this island. Like that sounds terrifying.
Sounds horrible.
Yeah, that's awful.
It's crazy.
Nightmare fuel.
Genuine nightmare fuel.
Reminds me of my childhood. It's just like you learn about Amelia when you're younger, like you said, and it's just like a lot of like mysterious stuff is being unraveled now, and I think that's pretty cool. I don't know a lot off the top of my head, but Amelia Earhart's one of the cool, like not cool because we know that it was a horrible way she died,
Right.
but it's almost like it's closure for human consciousness that okay, yeah, obviously it wasn't aliens. We shouldn't be packing our bags and heading to the bunker yet. You know?
Well, like my thing
Yeah.
is like I don't know how more people don't talk about the Bermuda Triangle. So one of my favorite content creators on YouTube. He's a streamer, video game content creator, Tim the Tapman. Love him. Hysterical dude. He jokes about, and I don't know if he's being serious. I don't know him personally, obviously, but he jokes a lot about him being kind of dumb. He says it a lot. His chat says it to him a lot. And I don't know if he plays into it or if it's genuine, but I know there's a 20-minute video about him not knowing what the Bermuda Triangle was at 30 years old. I would like to establish the man lived in Florida.
Basic geographical facts.
The man lived in Florida 12 miles from where the point of the Bermuda Triangle gets to in Florida. He lived at the Bermuda Triangle and didn't know it was a thing. But, I mean, while we're being fair, this is also the same man who thought that if you were like close to the ocean and you started to dig, eventually you'd get to the ocean. Because he thought that islands were floating.
Oh, like a little like
he thought everything was just floating and it wasn't like Earth
connected.
Like one of his chat, like he was like, guys, come on, like if you were in Hawaii, like obviously I don't know how far, but like if you dug like 500 feet, eventually you'd hit the ocean, right? They're like, no, you'd hit the core. And he was like, what?
Am I an idiot then?
I'm going to be honest with you. I watched that and felt dumber.
Dude, I just never thought of it. Obviously, you talking to me now, I understand that it's one big thing, but it's like, I didn't have the image in my head that it's obviously a floating island with nothing underneath, but I've never thought, like it goes all the way down to the crust and then goes all the way down to the core.
It is the crust. We're on the crust. Land is the crust.
Yeah.
I've never did good in geography. I got like a C.
Like land is the crust. And then it has mountains and it has valleys and it has all these like underwater valleys. All of that is the crust. The water is just water that sits in a bunch of the holes or like the divots in the crust. And then underneath the crust is the outer mantle and then the inner mantle and then the core. That's it. There's nothing special.
Here's an educated follow-up question I have for you.
Okay.
Are there freaks of nature that somehow are just like, because you know, like we've seen China, for example, and this is a little bit of history or news, like China started creating fake islands where they get
Did you just lead with freaks of nature and then say China?
Hear me out. No, hear me out. They're creating freaks. They're basically they're making islands, right? Don't look at me. They're all laughing at me. But what it is? Yes, they're creating abnormality.
I'm sorry. Did you say somebody was making islands?
Yeah. And so off the coast, I believe, of China, they've started creating little islands, and there's a specific area. It might not be on the coast of China, but a little bit closer inland, where it's a contested area, either in the Baltic Sea or somewhere else, where it's really contested, and China says this is my area, and other nations are like, well, this is national. You know, this is like foreign waters.
Right, this is international waters. What is the island made of?
So they actually made it. I don't know how they made it. They either made it with sand or a shit ton of, excuse my language, like dirt. They somehow made artificial islands. So that's what it reminded me when you guys were talking about that. They did that.
I'd never heard of this.
Yeah.
Brett?
It's true.
No. I mean, in theory, you can.
I mean, in theory, you just got to get enough of dirt. Yeah.
Yeah, just enough dirt. It will pile up to an island of sorts.
In theory, well, at that point, that's an islet. That's an islet, yeah.
Yeah.
So China moved to start creating artificial islands in the South China Sea in 2014, building them on top of rock. So this is the answer we were looking for. They built them on top of rocks and reefs, which were closer to the water's surface at high tide.
So if you're wondering why there's a weird, awkward silence, it's not so much based off of what.
No, Salo is
just
bringing forward some really legitimate shit.
It's the fact that we're getting closer and closer to where me and Daniel have to do an entire podcast explaining the difference between
islands and islets.
and islets. There is a story here.
There is a story, and we will save this.
To get it now.
We will save this for a separate episode where Brett and I just come here alone, so that Salo doesn't have to live through this, and it'll be episode like 1.5 or 7 time. It'll be a halfway episode, and we will give you the rundown of the day we discovered that there is a difference between isles, islands, and islets, and another thing called eggs. And
so there's islets is a actual like
islet.
No, we're not getting into this. No,
hold on, we're just giving a brief definition. Because he asked, it's educational. An islet, I-S-L-E-T, islet is a small island.
So it goes much deeper than this. I'm a little scared, guys, because I want to
homie. It's Cheshire Cat deep.
Holy.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It makes the Cheshire Cat look simple. What you mean? This was a 4-hour conversation, and we weren't high.
And we didn't come out harder?
No. We definitely lost brain cells that day. And don't worry, for all of you that are curious, one day we'll help you lose those brain cells too.
It'll happen eventually.
Oh, but no, the minute that we both said it sounds like an islet to me, we both just couldn't stop laughing because we both thought of that day. And I have told Brett ever since we talked about starting a podcast, there would be the day where it would come up, and it would be the day he regretted everything, and it just happened. And now he's upset about it. He's actively shaking his head like, God damn it, we are going to have this episode one day.
I'm very intrigued now. This has to be a follow-up.
I hate it here.
I am crying.
This is episode 1. I hate it here.
I am crying. Oh, that was so funny. I'm so glad it happened in episode 1. I told you it would. And it would happen naturally. I didn't force it. Because you thought I would. You thought I would cause it.
Islands, and
islands, and isles. And eggs.
I'm not drunk enough for this conversation.
Oh, that's definitely going to be that's going to be a podcast episode where we need to try and get a beer sponsorship. We're going to be drinking a lot of it. Oh.
It is not one that you want to create a drinking game where every time they say island, you take a shot.
Oh, God, you die. You die of alcohol poisoning.
You don't make it.
But anyway, let's move on from that. Please. But no, I had never heard anything about China making little islets. That's crazy.
I mean, it's an interesting way to expand your territory theoretically.
It is, yeah. But I mean, it's still based off the same premise that they're not just floating rocks in the ocean.
But you see where I'm coming from.
No, absolutely. But all of this
there are
locations
where like you go to the edge and it's a drop off and sinks underneath.
Yeah, but eventually it's still connected.
I mean, there's places like that where the current goes underneath, like that's what carves it out. And if you get trapped in that current,
that undertow is nasty.
Yeah, you just get stuck under there and you can't swim out.
It's over.
Yeah, it's over. The current's so strong, it's what carved the earth out.
Yeah, no, but like it's like looking at a cliff.
Yeah, like
it's like Pride Rock.
kinda.
It's connected.
Probably comes in a little more.
A little deep, a
underneath.
little more sharp.
Yep.
But like, it's the premise of like it's connected eventually, but there's this open space underneath where the actual focal point is. But like,
cool.
I don't know. I mean, the Earth's a fascinating thing, man.
You just don't think about it, right? You don't think that like there's these islands out there, and really they're not islands or eyelids or eyes. They're just like they're both shaking their heads right now.
You don't even know why.
You don't even know.
You don't even know
you
why.
Weren't there. You don't want this, Salo.
You're bringing up more parts of the conversation I don't want to talk about.
I wasn't part of the bit. I have no part in this.
Oh.
I'd rather talk about what's deep in the ocean, and that scares the shit out of me.
Oh, you know what? I want to pose you to a question. I've posed this question to you before, Brett. I know your answer. Salo, I want to know your answer. And Brett, you can share with the people, and I'll share with the people on my side. Would you rather spend 6 months in space or 6 months at the bottom of the ocean?
Ooh.
You're in a space station or an underwater station. You have oxygen, food. The conditions are the same both sides. You're in no like danger of suffocating. But are you more scared to be in space for 6 months or at the bottom of the ocean for 6 months? And so that Brett and I have something to think about in this conversation since we've talked about it, does your answer change if you are with people? Because I think mine does.
You think so?
I think my answer changes if I'm alone or not.
I'm gonna have to say sorry to my anxiety first off, because it is what it is.
Oh, it's terrifying.
I'm gonna be up in space. Fuck the ocean. Fuck everything down there. I'm gonna be up there looking at Earth. I'm gonna be looking at the spooky circly thing. That's the only thing that keeps me alive, and I'm gonna panic. But I would rather be. And my answer is mostly based off just my love of science and my love of like the solar system and just like being able to see Earth. I'd love to see Earth.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
I'd be terrified.
That's totally fair.
Terrified either way. But I mean, I'd rather have terrified, wonderful views.
Does your answer change based on if there are people with you?
No, I'd want.
So alone or with you, either way, you'd rather go to space.
We're going to space, boys.
Brett?
Same.
Space either way.
Yeah. Oh, so for the record, the origin of this question spawns from the idea that we have done so much efforts to get into space, but still don't know what's under the ocean.
Nothing about the bottom of the ocean.
Like, we know what 3, 5.
I think it's like it's in the single digits.
It's in the single digits % of life
in the water. On Earth. But we're obsessed with getting to Mars.
And I would much rather spend 9 months in space.
Yeah, like I think the conversation came from the idea of like, are we more scared of what's in space or what's at the bottom of the ocean? And it's definitely what's at the bottom of the ocean.
What if there's like entire human civilization?
We've had that conversation too. We've had the conversation of what if there's like an underwater like cave that like has an air bubble pocket where a human civilization could in fact be thriving.
I have an idea because I have a theory on that. Like, how because I was reading this book called Sapiens, and I forget the author's name, but it talks about the different humans and how it would be trippy. It just so happened that we're the only human race here, but there's other human races, and we used to live beside of them. So wouldn't it be interesting to be like, the Neanderthals disappeared. There's so many other human races that disappeared.
Right.
Where'd they go? What happened to them? We have a little bit of bones, but like, you never know, man.
Right. Well, and I think, bless you to Brett, by the way. The man just sneezed. I saw you do it. I seen it with my own eyeballs. Bless you. I think part of this conversation originally was the idea of, do we think mermaids could be real?
Yeah.
And I absolutely think they could be. I don't think they look like the Little Mermaid.
I don't think they look human at all. Do you agree?
I think they look humanoid.
Really? You think they look humanoid?
I think there's totally a chance that they have straight up facial features, arms, like maybe even legs. I definitely think there's totally the potential for mermaids.
Similar muscle structures,
Yeah,
stuff
like
like
very
that.
humanoid.
Yeah.
Almost like what you saw in Harry Potter if you watched the fourth Harry Potter movie.
I don't think that's. I don't think that evolutionarily has happened, but I want to live in that reality, and I hope that it's real. I
So,
really do, because that'd be so badass.
I mean, I don't see why it couldn't have.
I don't know, man. There's just so much biological, just like evolution to refine what we are.
Oh no, I
I don't know
totally
how
agree,
you
but
would make it
there's no
happen like
reason it
that.
couldn't have happened. I mean, the ocean's been here just as long as the earth, like the land has.
I totally could see us uncovering like
And like,
the first mermaid race down there somewhere,
well,
like
like,
bones.
and like, not only that, but the conversation, where did the other Neanderthals go? There's no reason they couldn't have adapted to live in the water.
Right, and there's some that are found in the islands, and guess what? They were smaller. They were different because they
Right.
were built to be that. So what if there was like some sort of
Branch.
ocean-based aquafolk, and
Right.
they developed gills? Who knows? You
Right,
know?
but we had that conversation, and I think actually I now remember where this whole conversation stemmed from. I do now remember where this came from. This came from the talk of if we think dragons could be real.
Yeah.
That's where this started.
Yeah.
Because people talked about the idea that Tyrannosaurus Rexes probably had wings,
Mhm.
and so then we talked about
it makes a lot of sense with
Yeah.
like the idea
what we know.
that
Yeah,
where they are, like
right,
where dragon mythology is everywhere.
right. And so we
Just
talked
everywhere.
about the idea: could there have been such thing as dragons, and could there still be dragons underwater? Because we've had plenty of mythological things about sea serpents and things like that. That's where this conversation came from.
That I wholeheartedly believe.
I absolutely believe there's something underwater that's very sea serpent like, at the
I'd
very
love to
least.
uncover it. They've discovered like
No,
massively giant.
no. The minute we find it is the minute's a threat. No, no.
Kind of like the aliens. Like it's like we don't
So-
want to be detected by the aliens because the moment that they realize we exist.
Oh no,
we're
the
dead.
aliens know we're here.
You think so?
Yeah, they
the
just think we're too
dangerous
dumb to
ones
waste
don't
their
know.
time on. 100%.
I feel like some of them do, but the dangerous ones who would like desecrate our human race don't know yet.
Oh, like War of the Worlds style.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
we're
they don't
thinking,
know, but there's definitely an alien race out there that's like, oh, these humans are dumb as shit. We're not wasting our time. It might be contagious.
Believe that. I honestly
Like,
believe
They might have COVID.
Yeah, like they're like we defeated the COVID protocol 7,000 years ago. They're just getting
In a
started
month.
with it. Yeah, they've had it for 2 years now. Like there's. First of all, I will say it now, and no one has to agree with me. This is just my opinion, but I wholeheartedly think that it's, in my opinion, foolish to think that there's no such thing as aliens.
Yeah,
It is so improbable to think that there's no other life on any other planet but ours. I'm sorry, to me, that's foolish. But back to the base question. Alone, I would very, very, very much rather be in space. With people, I don't know if that's the case.
Like, is that a thing of you don't know if you want to be with people in space, or you think you could brave underwater if you have people with you?
I don't think I want to be in space with people.
Oh yeah, that would suck. That would suck because it's like you have to.
Well, here's my fear. Space drives people mad. All it takes is one person to say, hey, lock him in the airlock and open it. That's it. It takes one.
I mean, can't the same be said for
I think
underwater?
the minute underwater something gets opened, it's over. You're killing everybody there. And I think
also feel
that
like
people wouldn't
the
do that to
difference is
themselves.
also like there's more stability. Sorry, there's more stability in the ocean, right? There, you have gravity still imposing that on you, but in like space, it's just utter chaos. And
Like-
even if they find a way to have an orbit, you're still just like roaming, like just floating, you know?
Not to mention, and the one thing I've thought about is half the time I'm going to be in pitch black, but if I'm in space, half the time it's going to be bright as fuck. Like uncomfortably bright.
I mean, I imagine you're running with technology where you can completely black out a room, like
Maybe.
if we're at the point of doing this.
I'm sure we'll have a
I don't get
blind
to
or
make the
something.
rules. This might be a jail sentence.
I mean, if it's jail sentence, you ain't got a fucking choice.
Maybe they give you a choice. 6 months in space, 6 months at the bottom of the ocean. Take your pick. My choices might change.
Here's the thing. If I'm in space, I'm cool with there being like windows and I can see, I can look at the
I
earth.
feel like my anxiety would go nuts.
If I'm under the ocean, I want
Darkness.
nothing.
Darkness.
Darkness.
Metal. Don't give me glass. Don't you give me no bulletproof plexiglass. Don't fucking do that to me.
See anything.
But the good news is you won't see anything until it's too late. I don't know. My biggest fear of being in... you know what? This might be mad illogical, but my biggest fear of being in space with other people stems from Among Us. Like, I don't want to be voted out.
What happens in Among Us? I'm not very...
Among Us is just a game where there's bad guys that are trying to kill the good guys, and randomly you vote people out, and they get kicked out into space. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy that everybody decides to vote out because y'all thought I was a little sus because I said, I don't mind putting my hot dogs in the microwave. Like, I don't want to get voted out for that. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
That is kind of sus.
Right.
Yeah, see? And then Brett would vote me out, and then I would float off into space.
I'm not saying I would vote you out. I mean, luckily, we're not in Among Us. This is beyond us. And I think we're done for the episode. Salo, you wanna kick us out of here?
Yeah.
Thank you for watching episode 1. We're hoping for many more, and like, subscribe wherever you're listening to. Do the thing that's gonna keep us coming back into your ears.
Agreed. Absolutely. No matter what platform, make sure if you enjoyed this. Only if you enjoyed this though. If you didn't enjoy it, you should still come back. Episode 2 might be better. This is this is episode 1. We got a lot to work out. You should join us on that adventure. Whatever platform you're listening on. Why don't you do that thing where it makes it a little bit easier for you to find us next time? Just saying.
Hit that notification bell. Bye, everybody.
Later, guys.